Someone just changed jobs last month. They had $18,000 sitting in their old 401k that is the retirement savings account most American jobs offer. They needed quick cash, so they cashed it out. By the time the government took its share, they walked away with around $9,000. Half gone in a day. But the real damage was much worse. If they had left that $18,000 untouched, by retirement it would have grown to over $270,000. $270,000. Gone in one decision. This is one of 3 hidden mistakes quietly destroying 401k accounts across America right now. And almost nobody who makes them ever realizes what happened. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what these 3 mistakes are, and you will have one specific move you can make tonight to start fixing all 3 this week. Welcome to Fin Finance. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video. Today, we are breaking down the 3 hidden 401k mistakes quietly costing millions of Americans hundreds of thousands of dollars over their working lives. These mistakes are not exotic. They are not complicated. They are simply the mistakes nobody warns you about until it is too late. Let us start with the numbers, because they reveal how widespread this trap really is. According to the most recent Vanguard research, 1 out of every 3 Americans who leaves a job cashes out their 401k instead of rolling it over. 1 out of 3. Among hourly workers, that number jumps to 42%. At the same time, the average 401k participant in America pays around 0.7% in fees every single year. Tiny on paper. Over a 40-year career, those same fees can quietly cost the average worker between $200,000 and $500,000. And then there is the third mistake, failing to capture every dollar of free money offered by your employer. Roughly 1 in 4 workers leaves part of their employer match unclaimed every single year. The employer match is free money your job will deposit into your retirement account just for contributing some of your own. Walking past that free money is one of the most expensive mistakes anyone can make. Here's what the financial industry never explains. None of these mistakes feel like mistakes when you make them. They feel small, harmless, almost invisible. That is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Picture a house you are going to live in for the next 40 years. Today, the walls look solid, the roof looks new, the paint looks fresh. But 3 hidden cracks are running quietly through the foundation. You cannot see them. They are tiny, they are silent, they are completely invisible from inside the house. But every single day they spread. Every winter, the cold pushes them wider. Every summer, the heat stretches them further. By the time you finally notice 20 or 30 years from now, the walls are tilting. The door is no longer close. And the house you spent decades building is no longer safe to live in. That is what a 401k looks like when you make any of these 3 mistakes. The money is going in. The balance is growing. The statements look fine, but the foundation is cracking the entire time. Here is what makes this so cruel. The 401k industry runs on compounding, that is when your money earns money on the money it has already earned. Compounding works in both directions. It rewards smart decisions for 40 years straight. And it punishes hidden cracks for the exact same length of time. You were not warned about any of this when you signed up. You were handed a form, you picked a few funds, you were sent on your way. And the cracks started spreading the same day.
Now here is the part that most financial videos skip completely, and it is the most important part of this entire video. You did not make these mistakes because you are bad with money. You made them because your brain is wired to focus on right now, not on what happens 40 years from now. Psychologists call this present bias. Present bias just means your brain treats a dollar you can spend today as far more valuable than a dollar you might have decades from now. This is why someone who changes jobs sees $18,000 in their old account and thinks that is money I could use right now. The fact that it would have become $270,000 later feels imaginary. But here is the trap. The future is not imaginary. It arrives anyway. And when it does, the decision you made at 25 is the one staring back at you at 65. This is also why fees feel invisible. A 0.7% annual fee is just a small number on a statement. A 0.7% fee compounded over 40 years is a house you will never own, but your brain cannot see the second number. So it never sounds the alarm, and this is why people walk past free employer matches. They look at the small percentage they would need to contribute and feel like they cannot afford it right now. They never see the $100,000 version of that decision waiting at retirement. None of this is weakness. This is biology. But once you see how present bias steals from your future self, you can finally stop the bleed.
Now here is what each of these three mistakes actually costs you. Start with the cash out. Someone who cashes out $18,000 at age 25 loses around 40% immediately to taxes and the 10% early withdrawal penalty. The early withdrawal penalty is an extra 10% the government charges anyone under age 59 and a half who pulls money out of a retirement account. But the real damage is the lost compounding. That same $18,000 left alone for 40 years at a 7% return would have grown to over $270,000. One decision. $250,000 lost. Now look at fees. The difference between paying 0.7% in yearly fees versus 0.1% over a full career is roughly $500,000. $500,000. For one tiny percentage difference you never even noticed. And finally, the missing employer match. If your job offers a 3% match on a $60,000 salary, that is $1,800 per year of free money. Walk past it for 20 years and you have missed roughly $160,000 in retirement value. Add all three mistakes together and a single worker over a full career can quietly lose close to $1 million. Same job, same salary, same effort. Just three quiet decisions that bled away the entire fortune. Here is the rule. Find these three cracks, patch them this week, and never let any of them open again. Mistake number 1, leaving your employer match on the table. The employer match is the percentage of your salary your job will deposit into your retirement account for free if you contribute too. The most common match is 50 cents per dollar up to 6% of your salary. Contribute 6%. Your employer adds 3%. Free, the fix is simple. This week, log into your work benefits portal. Find your match percentage. Set your contribution to exactly the amount needed to capture the full match. You just locked in thousands of dollars in free money for this year alone. Mistake number 2, cashing out when you change jobs. When you leave a job, the temptation is to grab the 401k for fast money. The cost, the 10% penalty, plus regular income taxes, plus decades of lost growth. A single cash out at 25 can quietly cost you $250,000 by retirement. The fix has a name. It is called a rollover. A rollover is when you move your old 401k directly into either your new employer's plan or into a personal retirement account called an IRA. You pay no taxes. No penalty. Your money keeps growing exactly as it would have. Providers like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard will walk you through the rollover by phone in about 30 minutes. Never cash out. Always roll over. Mistake number 3, paying too much in hidden fees. Every fund inside your 401k charges what is called an expense ratio that is just the yearly fee for managing the money. The average American is paying around 0.7% right now. That sounds harmless. Compounded over 40 years, it can cost you hundreds of thousands. The fix. Log into your 401k portal. Look at the list of funds inside your plan. Find any fund labeled index fund. Those are funds that simply track the whole stock market without expensive managers. Their fees are usually below 0.1%. Move your contributions there. A single afternoon of work can save you the equivalent of a house by the time you retire. Now here is exactly what to do first. Tonight before you sleep, log into your work benefits portal. Check your match. If you are leaving any of it on the table, fix that single number first. It is the highest paying 30 minutes of work you will ever do. A 401k is not a finish line, it is the foundation underneath the rest of your life. And tonight, for the first time, you finally know how to keep it from cracking. That is something almost nobody else your age understands. The version of you sitting at retirement is already watching what you decide this week. Give them something worth showing up to. If this video changed how you think about your future, hit subscribe and tap the bell.